Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing stories in American criminal history, the life and death of Bugsy Siegel. This legendary mobster not only played a pivotal role in organized crime, but also left an indelible mark on Hollywood and Las Vegas, two cities synonymous with glamour and vice. If you love true crime and history, this is for you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was born on February 28, 1906, in the Williamsburg neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. He was the second of 5 children born to Max and Jennie Siegel, Jewish immigrants who had arrived in the United States from Ukraine. Brooklyn during the early 20th century was a melting pot of cultures, a diverse backdrop against which the young Siegel would start shaping his life. It was a time of economic hardship, especially for immigrant families like the Siegels, which likely played a significant role in pushing Bugsy towards a life of crime. From an early age, Bugsy displayed a propensity for rule-breaking and defiance. By the time he reached his early teens, he was already involved in various street gangs that participated in activities ranging from petty theft to more serious criminal endeavors. Notably, it was during these formative years that he met Meyer Lansky, another young Jewish boy with whom he formed a strong friendship and eventually a notorious criminal partnership known as the Bugs and Meyer Mob. Bugsy Siegel's criminal career took a decisive turn with his association with 2 key figures in the American underworld, Meyer Lansky and Charles "Lucky" Luciano. Siegel met Lansky when both were teenagers, involved in similar petty crimes on the streets of Brooklyn. Their friendship was immediate and intense. They recognized in each other a similar ambition, intelligence, and hunger for success beyond their modest circumstances. They quickly realized the potential advantages of pooling their talents, leading to the formation of the Bugs and Meyer Mob. Around the same time, through Lansky, Siegel came into contact with a rising star in the Italian-American crime scene, Charles "Lucky" Luciano. Luciano was a savvy, charismatic mobster who saw the potential for reorganizing the chaotic world of organized crime along modern corporate lines. Impressed by Siegel's audacity and the efficiency of his operations with Lansky, Luciano sought to bring them into his ever-expanding network. This would mark the beginning of a long-lasting alliance that transcended the usually rigid ethnic boundaries of American organized crime, involving Siegel and Lansky in operations led by Italian-American mob families. The Bugs and Meyer Mob was a criminal organization that initially specialized in various forms of illegal gambling, auto theft, and bootlegging, particularly during the Prohibition era. The group earned a reputation for being disciplined and ruthlessly efficient, largely due to the complementary skills of its leaders. While Lansky was the strategist, adept at business dealings and maintaining diplomatic relations with other criminal outfits, Siegel was the enforcer, a charismatic, fearless figure who wasn't hesitant to resort to violence when necessary. Their activities expanded over the years, going from simple rackets to more sophisticated operations, such as loan sharking, extortion, and even securities fraud. During Prohibition, they became deeply involved in the bootlegging business, establishing a well-oiled machine that imported alcohol from Canada and the Caribbean to quench the American public's undying thirst for liquor. Their success in these ventures brought them both wealth and notoriety, making them significant players in the organized crime scene. Traditionally, the Italian mafia had been reluctant to engage closely with non-Italian groups. However, with the rise of figures like Lucky Luciano, who were more pragmatic and less bound by traditional ethnic loyalties, the door was opened for alliances with Jewish criminal organizations. Luciano saw in Siegel and Lansky not just capable allies but also pioneers in modernizing organized crime. Luciano's vision was of a multi-ethnic criminal network, coordinated and disciplined, that would engage in a wide variety of rackets and enterprises across the United States. Siegel, for his part, saw the advantages of this alliance. He recognized that working with Italian mafia families would provide not just muscle and territory, but also a sort of legitimacy within the underworld. In essence, it elevated him and Lansky from being leaders of a relatively small ethnic gang to becoming key players in a nationwide criminal syndicate. Their partnership was formalized through involvement in activities like the formation of the National Crime Syndicate, a coalition of multiple criminal organizations aimed at coordinating activities and settling disputes. This alliance was mutually beneficial, allowing the Italian mafia access to the business acumen and connections that Lansky and Siegel offered, while granting the Bugs and Meyer Mob protection and an extended range of operations. However, as with all relationships built on precarious foundations, it wasn't without its tensions and would eventually contribute to both Siegel's rise and his dramatic fall. As Bugsy Siegel's criminal enterprises flourished on the East Coast, he began setting his sights westward. In the late 1930s, Siegel relocated to California, ostensibly to manage the West Coast rackets for the National Crime Syndicate, but also seeking new avenues for personal enrichment. The list of Siegel's Hollywood friendships reads like a who's who of the golden age of cinema. Actors, directors, producers, and studio moguls all fell within his social circle. Figures like Clark Gable, Cary Grant, and Gary Cooper were among his acquaintances, charmed by his bravado and intrigued by his notorious background. Siegel also had relationships with influential moguls such as Louis B. Mayer of MGM, who were drawn to his aura of danger and power. His closest relationship, however, was with actress Virginia Hill, who became both his lover and confidant. Hill was deeply involved in Siegel's criminal activities, serving as a go-between for him and other mobsters, and even allegedly running money for his operations. This romantic entanglement not only helped cement Siegel's status in Hollywood, but also became an integral part of his criminal and business ventures. Bugsy Siegel's ambition reached its zenith with a groundbreaking vision: to transform Las Vegas from a nondescript desert town into a glitzy, glamorous resort destination. His brainchild, the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, was intended to be the cornerstone of this vision. As Siegel became increasingly absorbed in the Flamingo project, relations with his longtime allies began to sour. Meyer Lansky, once Siegel's closest friend and confidant, grew concerned about the escalating costs and suspected Siegel might be skimming off the top. Other mob figures who had invested heavily in the project were also becoming impatient, demanding results and questioning Siegel's leadership and financial management. On the evening of June 20, 1947, a hail of gunfire crashed through Hill's living room window in Beverly Hills, killing Siegel. Literally minutes later, 3 associates of Lansky entered the Flamingo and announced that they were in charge. Although Lansky denied involvement in the murder, one theory is that it was a syndicate-approved hit. But it's not the only theory. Another theory asserts that Siegel was targeted by Virginia Hill's brother because of a history of domestic confrontations between the couple. Another is that Mo Sedway, one of the 3 Lansky associates who took over the Flamingo, was involved in a love triangle into which Siegel stumbled. But in any event, Siegel was shot multiple times, including 2 fatal head wounds with .30 caliber bullets. His death has never been solved. This concludes our story about one of the most odious gangsters of his time. Bugsy Siegel's influence on the criminal world is undeniable. His story still continues to inspire directors and writers around the world. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.